much, and for a very good afternoon when it comes to football. Many things are happening in the world of football, but before we discuss what happens on the ground, let's talk about a football ground that is new in the world at the moment, and that is the new Tottenham Hotspur home ground. Joining us right now is Fred Openda, a die-hard football fan and analyst, and Joe Sainer, also a football analyst. Tottenham home ground. Where do you rate it on football pitches so far?
It's a good ground, and it's going to really back that football-wise to the club, and economic-wise also to the community surrounding it, because it's really affecting a lot of people. Have had, they're bringing in around 1,000 homes around. They have a school, they have shops and all that. So it's gonna really impact economic-wise and football-wise to the Tottenham community, let's put it so. So I think it's a good move, and it's a very, very good modern stadium which can host a lot of sports. They can host rugby, they can host a lot of events if you can put
Joe, your thoughts on that stadium, man?
Well, it has to be up there with the great, the Barcelonas, the Nou Camps, the Mestelas, obviously. It's a good economic move, as my final has said it. If you look in hindsight, Tottenham have been struggling mostly on getting the capacity right in terms of the fans. Okay.
Yes.
From the North London derbies that were staged now at the Emirates, now it's a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
The other day when they played against Cardiff, they still had 3,000 seats yet to fill. So again, it can show the expansion that even the fans can bring in.
It's good you have brought that one up, because what I'm going to ask will be, will the London scenario change? Because right now Tottenham will be the one with the most fans in the stadium. Their ticket sales will go higher. Their London fans will be many in the stadium. Even Arsenal will not compete with them.
I don't think so.
In matter of fans.
Yeah.
Stamford Bridge will not come into near that. How will that shift be?
I think
London?
If you look at the marketing strategy that Tottenham has employed right now, it is looking at the Far East, Japan, China, Asian communities, and the Arab states. So with Song being in the team, you'd look at a large contingent of supporters from Asia.
Korea,
and then Asia, Korea, exactly. Then if you look now at the students who are coming in to study in London, the businessmen who are coming in to study in London from all over the world, you'll see now a larger foreign sort of spectators, or should I say fans, joining into the bandwagon of Tottenham Hotspurs. Definitely the stadium adds more to this, but again, you'll have the die-hard fans who are obviously from around the area, the community, but now the international fans will go up, definitely.
Maxwell, 2-3 years, because now revenues will be up for Daniel Levy. Wherever we go, it will be like, the money Old Trafford makes, I can make that money too from the stadium. Now, will he go out and start buying good players? Because at the end of the day, you have a good stadium, you've got money coming in, and players is what you need. Do you think in 2-3 years now they'll break that jigs and start going for trophies seriously with great players?
State-of-the-art facility probably to spur the performance of Spurs and help them even at some point win English Premier League title, and even be a good competitor as far as UEFA Champions League football is concerned. Tottenham has always been operating under a lean budget, and when you look at the remuneration of their players, Harry Kane, as you speak right now, is one of the finished products as far as the attacking department is concerned. But when we compare his talent, his profile with what he gets, it's sort of not compatible, it's mismatch. So I think this particular facility getting brought on board and now attracting crowds, and just like you just said, publicity and marketing is a paramount aspect. By the virtue that Victor Mugubi-Wanyama plays for Spurs, I know the team enjoys having fans locally, and Son as well from those sides of Japan. So I think they have to spread their wings a little bit further, try to purchase players across in various parts of the world, so that they can attract much crowds going forward, and it will be a big plus for them. But remuneration, maybe with stadium now coming on board and attracting much crowds, players will be well equipped, and it will attract even great players coming to Spurs.
Yes.
I think, okay, I can give a good example of the Emirates Stadium when the Arsenal club completed building it.
Yeah.
It's not going to come as an instant impact on the football side, attracting players, going to sign good players and all that, because they have spent a lot of money building that stadium. They are going to get, yes, more fans, but as comparing that revenue and signing good players and remuneration and all that, it's going to be a challenge for them. It will take around, let's say, 2-3 years before they become stable.
Yes.
And then they can now be able to sign players as Arsenal did with the likes of Mesut. When Mesut was coming in. Yeah. So it's going to
those still with trophy cabinet, unfortunately.
Okay, I get your point, but for Tottenham it's going to take around 2 years, and then they stabilize, and then now they can be able to buy those kind of players they want.
Well, as Tottenham is enjoying a glimpse of their new stadium and actually having won their first match there against Crystal Palace 2-0, and Song Hong was the first player to score at that stadium, they still have got a problem with racism. It's a very tough problem that is happening around the world, more so in Italy and the places in the Middle Eastern of Europe. But back in England, a Tottenham player by the names of Danny Rose came out and said, "I can't wait to leave football because of racism." How bad is it?
It's been a rampant monster. It's been such, a dragon that is supposed to be arrested, contained by various sporting, stakeholders. We've seen what was witnessed in Italian Serie A, where Leonardo Bonucci, a man of his stature football-wise, a veteran defender with much experience in football, trying to blame a colleague who was racially abused, saying that it was 50-50 blame because the way the young kid celebrated when he scored for Juventus was uncalled for, according to Bonucci. So to some extent, even the insiders, those people from Paramount Factor of football, are also to blame for this particular menace. So it has to be, a collective responsibility for everyone if we have to solve it. Even Raheem Sterling has been, the victim, despite his recent heroic exploits. He's developed risen through the ranks to who he is at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, but he's still getting racially abused, even by some of the English home fans. A national team he belongs.
Joe,
Yeah.
from personal experience, as someone who has been into that country, who has lived in that country, how bad is it? Because for us, we see it from the onset here. We are Africans living in Africa. From personal experience, there was a black American in my school just on Friday. So I was in my school, I went to the director's office, and I met a black American. This guy was real happy being in a country where everyone is free. He could not believe that being with black people is just this all right, just this good, that these guys can actually be this free. So he said that he got a spiritual cleansing of the soul with how these people were treating. As someone who has been now in a white supremacy kind of people, the population is that big of white. How bad is it for black people that side?
Well, I can attribute it to affiliation.
Yes.
Now, for example, when I was there, and obviously being a football fan, being a football writer and an analyst, I, was affiliated to Manchester United supporters.
Yes.
Okay. Predominantly, they will be obviously of Caucasian descent. And me coming from Kenya and going there and joining them, as long as you're speaking one word, which is football, towards their liking, it has to be something that they are attributing towards.
Yes.
But obviously, when you come to a point where you're opposing that notion, for example, you'll get a Manchester City player who's maybe from an African descent and scores a couple of goals or something, they view it as the complete backlash. And unfortunately, it's that black people get to suffer this the most.
Yes.
Because Asians sometimes, yes, they will suffer. You'll see various signs, maybe to do the eyes and all that.
Yeah.
But for Africans, you've been thrown for banana peels.
Yes.
You've been called all sorts of names.
Yes.
So yes, it happened to me a couple of times. But it's how you pick from there and move forward. Now, for me, it was a personal life.
Yeah.
This is professional football.
Professional life.
There are kids outside there looking at this game and aspiring to be football players. But you can't have a teammate, the likes of Bonucci, telling Keane that, it wasn't good the way you celebrated hands. That's why they were racially abusing you. No, that's not even an excuse. That is utter stupidity. So it solely goes down to these organizations, right up from from UEFA, FIFA, then comes down to the various football associations.
Do you think it will work? Because we have got say no
Yes, it
to
will-
racism
it will
with
work.
FIFA.
Do you know how-
the
yes.
UEFA Champions League is also there. Will it work at the end of the
It
day?
will work by UEFA and by FIFA putting a stronghold and saying we will not entertain racism, and this is what we are going to do. We are going to
measures.
appoint, okay?
Yeah.
We are going to appoint a so-called minority person to head one of these organizations,
Yes.
whether it's FIFA, whether it's UEFA, whether it's an Asian person, whether it's an African person, you understand? So that the point is made. But as long as we still go on with the same people on and on, it will never make an impact.
Koulibaly walked off the pitch the last time he was haunted with the racism chants for when playing for Napoli. And Carlo Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola has also come out and said, I'm ready to walk off my players off the pitch if this kind of thing happens. The question will be, if that happens, that will be a big statement in football.
I think it will be, as Saina is saying, it has come to a time where FIFA has to bring in stringent measures whereby if there is a racial abuse in a game and all that, there are measures which are put in order to maybe to restrain further kind of abuses. And I like the way Raheem Sterling came out after he was racially abused. He said, we know our color. We know we are black. You know, it has to take something different, something stronger to abuse us so that it gets into us. You know, so it's a time that has come that FIFA has to come with stringent measures whereby if there are those racial abuses, it has to become maybe you ban players, fans, I mean, for life or something like that, so that this stops. It's a shame that it's still happening.
But you see, my concerns have always been, I don't know whether the racial chants thrown at players from with African background reflect the true position of the club, because point deduction is also a penalty measure that in case effected and executed, it can go a long way in arresting the vice. Point deduction, life ban, just like you've indicated, and even ensuring that teams face stiffer penalties, because that will cost the team. And maybe let's say Juventus, they're on the verge of being crowned the champions of Serie A. They get deducted points, and in some way that decision, that move affects, their premiership bid. Then at least fans will be cautious and not repeat what they have done before in terms of racial discrimination.
Well, when it comes to racism, it's a big problem around the world. Here in Africa, for some of us who live here in Africa, we live in a free spirit. We have got our own problems, considering we have got different ethnicities. Tribalism is a big thing, nepotism is a big thing, but racism is a global problem. Away from that, it is also a time when people need to consider that change is coming. Because for the very first time, many of the people working in the US Congress this time around are of African descent. And this conversation will not be over. And I can tell you for free, you like it, you don't, the world is becoming a global village. Even if you build a wall, we'll still migrate.
Trump is going to come after you.
So, in manner football, we stick with football. One big match that will be happening this afternoon will be Everton versus Arsenal. And it's a big chance for the top 4 race right now. It's actually now top 3 right now, Joe. And when you look at that match, Arsenal is really a number 4 with 63 points, and if they win against Everton, will be a big boost for them to get into the top 3. How do you think that match will pan out?
I mean, normally we used to have 2 battles in the Premier League. Relegation, avoiding relegation, and winning the Premier League. But now we have 3 battles, actually 4 battles, winning the Premier League, qualifying for the Champions League, being the best of the rest, that is from number 7 to number 9, and then now the relegation. So now, if you look at the battle for top 3, between Tottenham and Manchester United at number 6, the points are only 3.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's a difference.
Just one
You understand? One game.
Yes.
So now United have played their game in hand. So now they have to wait again and play later on. Tomorrow, Arsenal have a chance to solidify the third position.
Yes.
You get, because Tottenham won in midweek. But there's a small matter of, again, Chelsea playing against Liverpool. And if you look, it boils down, for me, it boils down to the fixtures remaining. For all these teams,
Yes.
right away from Manchester City all the way to Manchester United. Because that's the top 6 we are looking at.
But I've always known, Man United supporters have had, this unwavering rivalry with Arsenal since, those days, heydays. But tomorrow, most of them will be rallying for Everton to win against Arsenal so that the gap can remain. Because as I speak right now, the gap between Arsenal and United, 3 points, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's 3 points. Actually, not only Arsenal.
Yeah, Spurs as well.
Yes.
3 to 6.
3 to 6 is only 3 points.
3 points.
Yes.
That is dividing them. How good are you, Arsenal, going against Everton?
We have the Jones to get 3 points.
Next time, listen. Next time you're trying to use my words, man, you have to give me credits live on air.
Credit to Maxwell. Now, actually, everyone is surprised that Arsenal are in that position. The likes of Jamie Carragher was saying that Arsenal don't have the Jones to be in that top 4. We have 5 matches remaining. Yes. And actually, the Everton game tomorrow is the hardest, I think, for Arsenal away. Arsenal, we have not been doing that well away from home.
Yes.
I think it's time that the Arsenal side are now seeing the work of Emery giving results. The Manchester United crowd, if I can put it so,
the battalion.
The Manchester United battalion have not been embracing the fight for the top 4.
Yes.
Joe, that's true.
It's okay. Let him give his opinion, then I'll give my opinion.
The Manchester United battalion have not been embracing the fight for the top 4, but now that they are in it, they know how to calculate the points and all that. Because when Arsenal, when Wenger was at the side, they were saying, you're always fighting for top 4 and all that. But right now,
they're seeing the importance of being in the top 4.
They are now seeing the importance of being in the top 4. Arsenal have a good side. Maybe defensively they have frailties and all that. But I think tomorrow will be a tough game, and they know what it means. 3 points, I think, will go back home.
Everton is quite a stubborn side with their attacking duo of Richarlison and Sigurdsson. Marco Silva, since he made that move from Watford to Goodison Park, has been quite a good revelation, though he's managed to buy several players, the likes of Yerry Mine, Andre Gomez from Barcelona. But he hasn't maximally utilized them. But going into tomorrow's tie, we've seen him facing, Herculean and Tusk playing against heavyweights like Merseyside derby against Liverpool. That game ending in a draw. So Arsenal defense have to be wary of, Sigurdsson and Richarlison, the Brazilian. And with their height abilities, aerial-wise, then Everton will have to win through the same. As a Nottingham Forest, I'm also rooting for them.
Yeah. big match there that will be happening. But another big match that has to be on Monday night, and that is Chelsea versus West Ham United. Do you think Pellegrini has what it takes to scare off Chelsea in the top 4 fight?
Well, if Pellegrini can pick up points against Chelsea, that would be vitally important, so that obviously it can derail Chelsea's push for a top 4.
Important for who?
It's important for Manchester United, for Arsenal also, for Tottenham also. Yeah. Let me tell you, every game that is happening right now, we have to support each other till to the wire. Unfortunately, depending now, the only way you'll support City is when now City play against us. Yeah. And our job, and I think Ole Gunnar can hear us wherever he is as fans, our job is to derail City from taking the title. Again, West Ham's job and Chelsea's job is to derail Liverpool from taking the title. We have to depend on other teams to derail those two from going, either one of them winning the Premier League. Yeah. But obviously, one of them is going to win.
Yeah.
I believe with Liverpool's fixtures and City's fixtures. City have to play Tottenham, Manchester United, Leicester. Liverpool just play Chelsea, Cardiff, and Burnley, and one more I haven't checked, and one more. But look at those fixtures.
And the most interesting part of Monday Night Football fixture, Chelsea against West Ham, is Declan Rice, the young kid, the English international, will be featuring against his former side, and considering that is the most sought after product, because several clubs as we speak right now are being closely associated with his signature. So it will be quite a thrilling tie. Manuel Pellegrini, with vast experience, having been in charge of several high-profile clubs, you know, Manchester City winning Premiership title with them, against Mauricio Sarri. Quite a thrilling tie.
Yeah, it will be.
90 minutes will decide.
The problem again with West Ham right now, they can't seem to score. Arnautovic is being booed by the fans. Hernandez is not getting the right ball. Lucas Perez, that we thought that was going to be a revelation, he's not working very well. Andy Carroll is going. Those are four
Maybe
strikers.
Lanzini will have to come to the rescue.
As an attacking midfielder coming into as a striking position. Those are four strikers in a club that are not performing. So for Monday's goals, they're important for West Ham to derail Chelsea. Again, keyword, derail Chelsea.
But you see, I've met several Man United supporters. I think you have a contrary opinion when you say Man United will be looking forward to derail cities from title bid.
Obviously, we can't allow City to win the title.
Come on,
we will try our best to make sure that we derail City's advance. But we're not saying it will be dependent on other fixtures also.
You see, I'm a sympathizer for United. But how I wish is that United...
It was when Ferguson was at there.
Yes.
I'm a sympathizer for United because I support Nottingham Forest, two-time UEFA Champions League winner. But what United supporters will be praying is to derail Liverpool from winning the league, because you are 20-time English Premier League winners. Liverpool is 19. So if they win on level.
Here's the other thing. Look at it from a Mancunian perspective. Manchester City, Manchester United, one town. We're talking about a town now. Okay, let's leave alone the great rivalries we've had with Arsenal, the days of Arsene Wenger, and even right now with Emery. Let's leave the days for Liverpool also. But look at that rivalry. We cannot say we're going into a match that we're going to say, you know what, we're going to sit back, let somehow City win so that Liverpool does not win. You see, it's a cut 45 sort of situation. And yet still, they're still going to play against Tottenham at some point. You see, so we have to try our best.
And a friend of mine who was supporting Liverpool was telling me that he really he went on his knees just praying that, you know, Wolves beat United so that when United face City, they have a reason to win that tie in order to finish in top 4. And therefore, boosting their chances, boosting
we'll say the same thing about Arsenal. They need to win Everton tomorrow. They need to win Everton tomorrow. But midweek fixtures for Europa.
Yeah, we have Europa.
There you go. Chelsea have to win Europa to qualify for the Champions League, because I'm not seeing Chelsea finishing top 4.
And sometimes I hear the United battalion saying that they want City to win the title so that the title comes to Manchester and all that.
No. Who said that? No.
Because they don't want Liverpool to win.
They don't want Liverpool to win.
You know, Liverpool told United when they had won 18 trophies, there was a very big banner that said, come back when you are 18. Manchester, I think, had won only 2 Premier League titles by then. So that rivalry became big because even if you ask Ferguson when he's retired that, do you think Liverpool will win that title? I think he told that journalist, do you want to give me a migraine?
And I think that unmatched rivalry between Liverpool and Man United has been openly manifested in several ways before. You remember Steven Gerrard era?
Yes.
I think giving a pass, I don't know whether it was accidental or deliberate, to Demba Ba. And I think Chelsea Football Club emerged victorious in that
we celebrated when Gerrard fell. Contrary to the fact that he's a professional player, I have nothing against team in general, but I was excited. I was like, they're not taking the title. They were that close to take the title last season. And this season, unfortunately, we have no say in the remaining fixtures as Manchester United to deter them from taking the title. But we have a say against Manchester City.
Joe, thank you for having the last word. Where it is going to. Some of the other matches that will be happening this afternoon will be FC Bournemouth versus Burnley, then Huddersfield Town versus Leicester City, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Then tomorrow will be only one match, that is Everton versus Arsenal, and then Monday Night Football between Chelsea and West Ham United. I would like to thank you, gentlemen, for coming and gracing the touchline here for Fanzone. That's where we leave it.
And also, Robert, maybe just a reminder to the fans of rugby lovers. Tomorrow, all roads lead to KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka. KBC Channel 1 will be televising the Birds Cup 2019 edition happening. Finale tomorrow, 4-day tournament coming to its end tomorrow. And of course, we will be on location just bringing you the live proceedings of the game. But salute to our girls who've done fantastic job. Normally, we always saluting the likes of Adili, Brian Kimali, Emmanuel Ndavula. This time round, it's, the likes of Gladys, Miriam. Obama is always there. He wants to be credited, but I wouldn't do it this particular afternoon. And the super lady sitting behind. I've already done that in these guys. Touchline every Saturday, 1 to 3. Next weekend, let's review what would have happened in the world of football. UEFA Champions League, Man United against Barcelona on Wednesday and Tuesday. I think some interesting fixtures during the week.
Thursday night.
Arsenal, Napoli as well.
Also, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid this weekend.
Barcelona, Atletico Madrid this weekend. So plenty of football. Let's go on with the conversation even after the show. Hashtag touchline Y254. Wasike Maxwell at Oso Roberts.
Y254. Imagine.